you looking for proven ways to multiply your income and productivity using AI, but struggling to pick the right tool? Just a year ago, Google quietly released NotebookLM, which will forever change how knowledge is monetized and is flying under the radar for most people, which makes it a great opportunity before things get crowded. So, in this video, I'll share the infinite content engine method to turn your skills and knowledge into two income streams. You will master all of NotebookLM's top features, which you can apply in any situation, whether you are a student or a professional. Hi friends, I'm Aesan, a qualified accountant and Oxford Brookes University alumnus. After 13 plus years at global companies like PwC and EY and currently at a big tech, I have seen one pattern repeat itself over and over, and that is early adopters of new technology make the most financial and productivity gains. So without further ado, let's dive in. To start, head over to notebooklm.google.com, and if you're signing up for the first time, you can just use your Google account to sign up. It's completely free. Now, I won't see it because I already have an account, but you will see a welcome screen. Just click escape for now. And you should see something quite similar to what I have here on my screen. Now, let's build our infinite content engine. But before we do that, what if I told you that everything you have ever written, read, or researched could become an income stream if two conditions are met? Number one, your knowledge helps solve real problems or educate others. Number two, you can effectively package and deliver that knowledge to the right audience. Imagine you're a math teacher, and let's go to NotebookLM and click Create New. This should open a new window, and just hit escape for now. Let's first give our notebook a name and we'll call it the Math Lab. Now, once we've named the book NotebookLM, we can start uploading our sources. And you could see that option here on the left side in the sources section. Don't worry if you're seeing a bit of a different version. Google recently released a new version, which I seem to have access, but they're rolling it out worldwide. So by the time this video comes out, you should have the same looking version. Even if you have the older one, they have the same functionality. They just look a bit different. So I will click on the add sources section, and I will start by going here at the bottom and add a link to a YouTube video. Let's say this is a YouTube video of some really good math strategies. Now, YouTube only works for public videos with captions. Recently uploaded videos in the last 72 hours might not be available immediately for ingestion in NotebookLM. Let's go ahead and now upload some books. I already downloaded some, but these are books which are famous on elementary mathematics for students. Let's also then add some math teaching strategies and academic research we found recently. Next, let's upload personal notes about math, which includes content you built over the years. Just click Math Personal Notes. It's a file I've already created for illustration purposes. Now, you could upload audio MP3 files as well, or text files. Then you may also add some websites where you find some really good, useful, relevant resources. So let's click here on the website icon and add the website icon. And now we have the website ingested in our source data as well. Now, a pro tip, some websites don't allow you to add them as sources. If you come across any, you can simply copy the text and include it as a manual text input. Now, I already created a math lab before this video, so I'm just going to go back into that in the interest of time. But it has the same resources we covered earlier. So once uploaded, NotebookLM creates a source guide that is effectively a summary of all the source data you provided. And that's what we see here. You can think of it as a personal research assistant who's gone through all your material and pulled a summary for you. It also summarizes your individual notes here in the left sidebar. So if you go in your sources section, what it does is it also creates a source guide for each individual material you've uploaded. So in here, it's saying the guide we uploaded about active learning strategies about mathematics is summarized here. And then it's automatically picked up some of the key topics from within that resource. And this is again quite handy because you can at a glance see if a resource you've uploaded is of value to you, or you can decide to remove them as you are going through a project. Now, the other thing you will see here at the bottom is that NotebookLM has already come up with questions using your material to help you better understand your contents. Now, let's just click one of these questions and see what it does. So if I click on what active learning strategies were employed in the pre-service teacher study, again, I didn't even come up with the question. NotebookLM just identified this as a good question to get a better understanding of the material we uploaded. And now it's come up with an answer on what are the different techniques involving paper folding, gallery walk, and mat trail. But let's not worry about math because that's not what we're studying here. We are just getting started in terms of NotebookLM's features. The next step is to apply the 80-20 production system strategy. Let's go back into NotebookLM, and on the right side within the studio, let's click on the study guide, briefing doc, and an FAQ. So what you'll see here on the right, it is now generating those documents. These three are ready for us. So starting with the briefing doc, it summarizes the key points and themes identified from the source material. Going back, if we look at the study guide, it comes up with unique short questions and answers to help test your knowledge of the source material. So it's got a question here on what is a set, provide an example of a set of numbers. And if you go here in the answers, it says a set is a collection of distinct objects. For example, the set of even numbers is 2, 4, 6, 8. And then an FAQ is a list of questions which will help you better understand your material. So for example, it's saying what are some of the effective strategies to teach mental math skills in 1st and 2nd grade. And it sort of then goes through all these techniques, combining them from all the source materials. This alone has dozens of high value applications, some of which I will cover later in the video. Let's take it a step further and ask NotebookLM to create an online course for teaching maths to kids using strategies and material from the source data, and ensure the course is well structured, interactive, and fun for 8-year-old kids. And now it starts going through the data to generate the output. And there we have a full study guide on a course outline. So it starts about what the course description is. It's designed to make learning maths fun and engaging for 8-year-old kids. It's then talking about what the course duration is, 8 weeks with 32-minute sessions, and then it's put in the modules. So the module 1 is Number Ninjas, and it will talk about Welcome to Math Adventures. It's got another module about Geometry Explorers, then Pattern Masters, and then it's effectively taken all that material which existed in a disjointed way. It's taken the teaching strategies we had, and it's sort of combined them into this very nice 8-week course of 30 minutes each per week. This looks like a very good starting point for anyone who wants to take their knowledge and convert it into a course outline. Now, one pro tip here, if you like the output of the NotebookLM, you have to click the Save to Note here at the bottom. What it does, it saves this here on the right side, and you can access it again in the future, because NotebookLM does not keep any chat history, and Google does not use the data you uploaded for any other purposes. So if you need to access it again, just remember to hit Save to Note. I speak from experience and getting burned. Now, going back to the course outline, let's ask NotebookLM to draft complete content for one of the modules it just gave us the outline for. So I'm going to copy the module from here, and I'm going to say, write complete content for below module and for a fun course on math. And then I'm just going to copy the module and the week it generated. And as soon as I hit enter, it will again go through the content and come up with the actual content to use within that module. And there you go. So if I click number 2 here, you can then see it clearly takes you back to the source. So it's picked it up from this Teaching Maths to Young Children book. And within this particular section, which talks about shape changing, it's turned that content into this exercise about changing circles or circle churches into a pizza and all that. And NotebookLM has taken the source material and repurposed it in a way that it can be used in a content rather than just copy pasting it. And that is effectively what a writing assistant would do for you. But this one costs nothing. Now you can create what we just did about the module 1 to effectively create the content of the entire course using your own knowledge base in a couple of hours rather than a full week. You can focus your time on reviewing the NotebookLM output and use your experience to make adjustments, add personal touch, and hit record. All you need is a good phone. If you don't have a camera, I definitely recommend investing in a good mic like a Blue Yeti or a Rode, and use a free editor like CapCut to edit the videos. I have seen very basic production value courses making over 50K in a year on multiple platforms, so don't worry about missing the fancy graphics and animations in your course. You can purely just focus on providing high value content. But you might say, Aesan, I don't have an audience on social media who will buy my course. Well, there are 2 solutions for that. First, you can launch your course on platforms like Udemy or Skillshare. For example, if you sign up as an instructor on Udemy, which is free and anyone can do, and go in their marketplace insights and search for the word math, you will see there is a high student demand and plenty of courses, with the top earners making up to $3,398 per month. More than 68% of enrollments on Udemy when it comes to math come from their own search and discovery, meaning you don't necessarily need a social media following to succeed and sell your course. The second strategy is to build an audience using the audience flywheel strategy. Let's ask NotebookLM to draft 2 easy to understand math tips and problem solving hacks for short videos for YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, and tweets with high value practical tips, including illustration. And there we have some outputs. So if I look at the first one, it talks about the 2 and 5 technique for multiplication, which I still remember from my school days. Now you can use this to make and post videos on social media, or if you're feeling lazy, start with tweeting small, insightful knowledge bites that help people and in return provide you with an audience who would be keen to learn more from you. Let's say we wanted to just generate our tweet from a particular book. Now, a pro tip here, NotebookLM actually allows you to select specific sources when you make a query or a question. So if I unselect all of these here and I just select this book and I share that question again about making 2 math tips, it will now just use that single source rather than all of the source data to come up with a tweet or a social media post. Now you can clearly see the tip number 1 or the social media post is about counting backwards for subtraction, which is different than what it gave originally. And that's because we selected a different source this time. This means you can keep adding new knowledge and keep generating unique posts or for your social media. But NotebookLM has another powerful feature that you can use to build an online presence. First, go to NotebookLM and click the audio overview icon here and hit the load icon. Now what NotebookLM just did was use your source data to generate a podcast style dive deep discussion between 2 AI voices, summarizing the key topics in your material. Take a listen for yourself.
Which, let me tell you, is packed with hands-on exercises and a book that really digs into like the foundations of math for elementary school teachers.
Sounds like we're covering a lot of ground.
But it even gets better. With Google's beta feature, you can join the virtual podcast and ask live questions. To do this, you simply click the interactive mode here on the right and you allow it to use your microphone. So can you tell me what are the top 2 techniques to learn maths for kids?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Actually, we were planning to get into the practical side of things a little bit later, but I can certainly touch on that now.
Yeah, and it's funny because we've got this YouTube video transcript from Susan Jones, a teacher who talks about mental math strategies for kids.
Now you can use this to make podcasts about a niche topic using your own knowledge and publish it on platforms like Spotify to build an audience. Each podcast can be unique as you control what source data is used by NotebookLM to generate it. Google recently also released a new upgrade that allows you to customize where the podcast style conversation should focus, and that's at the beginning before you hit generate overview. But is that all NotebookLM has to offer? Not really. I've been using it as my investing assistant when selecting a new stock to invest or just staying up to date with recent events. For example, I have shares in Spotify but don't have the time to read their quarterly results or press releases to stay up to date and make adjustments to my investment if needed. If I go back, I have a Shopify Dive Deep notebook setup which includes information about the recent investor events, Q3 financial statements, and also the Securities and Exchange Commission filings. Now, without doing anything, if I just create a briefing doc and a timeline, it will go through the data and tell me the key themes. Now that's something which I will find useful, but I also like to ask questions about summarize the recent quarterly results for Shopify. What are the highlights and lowlights? Highlights for is effectively things which went well, and then lowlights is things which did not go well, and I'm generally interested in the lowlights. Now I can see that the gross margin has gone down, and then I am able to click the links and see where it's referring to. So I can clearly see it's actually gone down from 52.6 to 51.7. And then I may ask it questions like, why did the gross margin go down? But this is the margin move is not too much and I'm not too worried, but this is a very useful point for me because if let's say the gross margin went down from 50% to 2%, I'm immediately worried, should I take my investment out? So this is very useful for me to stay on top of my investments without going into a lot of reading. Now you can also use NotebookLM to condense lengthy books and YouTube videos into digestible small chunks and have engaging conversations with them. You can ask, let's say you have a collection of books and videos about a particular topic, let's say how to start a new company. you can ask questions from that collection rather than having to go through the entire material. Another unique feature of NotebookLM is the ability to share your notebooks and collaborate with others. So if I scroll here to the right and click share, I am able to add people as either a viewer. I'm not going to add anyone right now, but this is incredibly useful for team-based projects or collaborative content creation. Now, another bonus tip, when you're generating audio podcasts, you have the ability to customize them. So you can ask it to focus on a specific source or a specific topic or a specific audience. And that could be very handy. For example, you can tailor the dive deep conversations based on the audience you are targeting and the subjects from your source material. Now that you've seen how NotebookLM can boost your productivity and income, there is one skill that will separate the top 5% from every other NotebookLM user, and that is prompt engineering. Bad prompts give bad results, and good prompts give good results. So you might like this video where I help you master prompt engineering in 10 minutes.